What's up? This is Tony. I play drums in the Vincent Black Shadow. It differs so much from Fears in the Water because Fears in the Water was done in sections and parts and places. It wasn't a very cohesive from a start point to a finish point to end up with the finished product. It was like whenever we could get the time with the studio or get the time with our engineer, we were in recording. But I mean, the drums were done so far away from each part, it didn't really feel like a cohesive, solid, from start to finish, put together record. It was kind of like we were hoping that's how it would turn out. And you know, I think because of the songs being pretty good that it did turn out that way. But this record, we went in and we had all the pre-production done ahead of time. We had a set date to go in and record this album. We went in, I mean, I banged the drums out, and it took me about a day and a half to get all the tracks done for this. And then we went right in with bass, guitars, overdubs, vocals, mixing, and then mastering, and the record really came together, and we were able to sit back and be like, that's how you make a record.
Dig till my eyes can't see. I still get through and I still don't breathe.
On this record, I definitely made a conscious effort that I was going to allow myself to have as many options as per my instruments on my drum kit to be able to play. I mean, I wasn't like, you know, I may only use this cymbal or that splash cymbal or that China crash once or twice. But I was like, I'm going to give myself the opportunity. I mean, I used different snares. I used my Shine drums kit, Shine represent right there, but besides my core kit, I added a lot of extra little things that I thought maybe could add a little texture to the songs. And so I approached my kit differently on how I would add a lot of elements to it. And playing wise, I probably, you know, you can't really tell by listening to the record. I mean, it sounds like drums, you know, but I hit as hard as I possibly could to the point where my wrists were burning, and we were doing that to get the most real sound. So it was, the drums were pounding, but we didn't have to lump on fake samples that are really some other drummer's stuff that they've, you know, that people use nowadays. I mean, you take a kick drum from some stupid Nickelback song that some engineering guy knows and he got from some other producer, and then they all end up sharing it, so all the kick drums all end up sounding the same because everyone's using the same sample, and it just gets ridiculous. I mean, I can honestly say that, I mean, for the most part, and I'm not going to lie, there probably is a sample here or there on the record that sit on top of the drums, but for the most part, though, that's 100% me hitting those drums, and that's a lot different than the last record. My favorite song, and I have a feeling it's going to wind up being a lot of people's favorite song on this album, it's a song called Stupid Intruders, which, I mean, we had it and we knew it was good, but we didn't know really what to do with the chorus, and we're like, well, that's kind of messed up. The chorus should be kind of like, that should be the diamond in your rough, that should be icing on the cake. And we were like, this thing rocks, the verse is great, the intro is great, like the pre-chorus is great, what the hell's going on with the chorus? And then, you know, I think it was Rob one day, he just came in and goes, dude, everything's the same, I just changed the chords, well, which really doesn't make it the same anymore, and he sang this vocal line over top, and I was like, that is awesome. And then we just were on a roll with that song from there, and what you get is a song that starts off with this, you know, really cool, like, James Bond feel with a lot of brass in it that all of a sudden turns into this kind of SoCal, like, ska thing, and then really moves into this hard rockin' driving song, and it kind of repeats that cycle, but the whole time it remains very danceable, which is pretty cool, because there's nothing better than when you're playing on stage to look out and see a bunch of girls dancing to your songs. It's cool.
This is not an old war story like they always told.
The vocals, specifically the lyrics, I should say, are really ripping, and you know, sit down and try and write some good vocals. It's It's nothing that easy. I mean, or sit down and write an original bass line. That's not just your straight ahead same note for 4 bars, just playing eighth notes. I mean, sit down and come up with a guitar solo that isn't just tapping or isn't the same blues box. And I think everyone in their own respect sat down and did the opposite, really did something good in all those respects. It's so important to support bands that do things independently, especially ones who have, in a sense, had the opportunity to do it the opposite way and kind of been burned by that side. And so you get to know them by this, and then you kind of you hate it when your favorite bands break up, or you hate it when your favorite bands just seem to fall off the face of the earth. And maybe as a fan, you always wonder, why the hell did that happen? Like, why did that band have to stop, And a lot of the reasons are business related. And as fans, I mean, as myself being the biggest fan of music, I mean, when I say fans, I'm talking about myself. And, a lot of times you don't know the inner workings, and a lot of it, most of the time, is horse shit. So you got to support them, because bands that are doing it on their own are going to be able to avoid this bullshit. Go to Warped Tour and hear, every single band saying, "We love you, like, you mean so much to us." And, I don't want to be one of those dicks and say they don't mean it, and I'm not saying they don't, but every time you hear someone say it, you may start to think, oh God, here they go again, kissing the fans' ass for their money. But I know personally, and even, you may have had, email correspondence or message correspondence with me on MySpace or with Rob on MySpace, because we take that shit seriously. And it's not that hard for me to spend a couple hours of my day to go, shit, someone took the time to write something to me about music I made. Like, I'm not a dick, I'll write back to them, and no problem. And if anything, if it makes my day a lot better, and if I can make someone's day better by having little old me talk to someone else, and let them know, hey, thanks, I actually do appreciate it. This actually is me sitting at a computer just like you, typing it in. Because really, anybody, I don't care how big of a band you're in, you could do this. And a lot of people may say, well, how am I going to reach everybody? I have so many fans. But it's like, just get on there for an hour. And if you respond to like 20 of your fans, imagine how happy those 20 of those fans, that may be something that resonates with them for a long time. And if you have an opportunity to do something like that, where you can actually affect someone for the better in kind of like the shit pile of the world that's going on right now, then you should take every advantage to do it. Especially if it's something as easy as saying, hey, thank you. I really do appreciate the fact that I've been able to tour, 20 different countries and play Warped Tours where I'm on tour with bands I've looked up to, and go into a record store and see my album in the store, and it's because of you, the fans. So my message to you is thank you.